Space is having an interesting year in 2026, and it's not just about rockets and missions. There are big human spaceflight moments coming up, new telescopes launching, but also natural stuff you can actually go outside and see for yourself. So I put together a list of the top 10 space events coming up this year, a mix of major missions and natural events you won't want to miss. Photonics. At number 10, we have the launch of China's Suntian Space Telescope. A lot of people assume the next big space telescope will come from NASA, but that's not necessarily true. Later this year, China is planning to launch something called the Suntian Space Telescope, and it's way more powerful than people realize. Compared to Hubble, Suntian's survey camera will cover vastly more sky in a single image. That means faster discoveries, more galaxies, more, wait, what is that? Moments. It's also designed to be serviceable with the Chinese space station. Astronauts can dock and upgrade it rather than just hoping it lasts. To me, that feels like a real shift. Space science is going global. The next image that changes how we see the cosmos might come from this telescope. Moving on at number 9, we have ESA's Hera spacecraft arriving at the binary asteroid Didymos. A few years ago, NASA intentionally smashed a spacecraft into an asteroid on purpose. Now, in late 2026, the European Space Agency's Hera spacecraft arrives at that same asteroid system called Didymos to see what actually happened. Didymos is a binary asteroid consisting of a larger primary body and a smaller moon orbiting it. NASA's DART mission hit that smaller moon to see if we could change its orbit. Hera's job is to inspect the damage up close. This isn't just about rocks in space, this is about planetary defense. For the first time, we're testing whether humans could realistically nudge a dangerous asteroid off course if one were headed toward Earth. And honestly, that's kind of wild to think about. We're not just watching space anymore, we're interacting with it, experimenting, learning how to protect the planet. When Hera sends back its data, we'll know if humanity's first asteroid deflection actually worked. And that could matter a lot more than we hope. And at number 8, we have a total solar eclipse. On August 12, 2026, a total solar eclipse will pass across parts of Europe, Greenland, Iceland, and the Arctic. And if you're watching from much of Europe or nearby regions, at least a partial eclipse will be visible. So if you're in Europe or Greenland, this is definitely one worth paying attention to. Total solar eclipses happen somewhere on Earth every year or two, but actually being in the path of one isn't all that common. When it happens, the change is subtle and quiet. Daylight fades, and for a few minutes, the sun is completely covered by the moon. It's not something you need special equipment for, aside from proper eclipse glasses. It's one of those reminders that space exploration doesn't always mean going somewhere. Sometimes it comes straight to you. And at number 7, it's Axiom Mission 5. In 2026, Axiom Mission 5 will send a private crew to the International Space Station. It's worth noting that this mission won't launch any earlier than May 2026, making that month the earliest possible window. Spaceflight schedules can shift, so the exact date will depend on readiness and coordination with the ISS. The mission will use SpaceX's Crew Dragon to carry professional astronauts alongside private participants. Once aboard the ISS, the crew will live and work alongside NASA astronauts, conducting research and helping integrate private operations into the station's routine. By this stage, commercial flights are no longer just novelty trips. They're becoming part of the operational landscape in low Earth orbit. Axiom's long-term vision is ambitious. The company plans to operate its own commercial space station, which could eventually complement or replace parts of the ISS. Missions like Axiom 5 are building the practical experience, procedures, and logistics needed for that future. In other words, while the flight itself might seem modest, it's a clear sign that space is becoming more accessible to private participants. And May 2026 marks the point when this next chapter could begin. Number 6, the first commercial space station. 2026 might also be the year we finally build a space station that isn't run by a government agency. Haven 1, the world's first commercial space station being developed by the startup Vast Space, is targeted to launch no earlier than May 2026 aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Unlike the International Space Station, which has been funded and operated by national space agencies for decades, Haven 1 is designed from the ground up as a private orbital outpost. It's a smaller station with about 45 cubic meters of habitable volume, roughly the size of a bus, but it's fully pressurized and ready to support crews of up to 4 people. Astronauts will reach it by docking with a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft, living and working aboard for missions lasting about 10 to 30 days at a time. Over its planned 3-year life, several crewed visits are expected, each bringing science experiments, technology demonstrations, or even private missions. Haven 1 represents a shift in how humans work and live in space. This station is essentially a proof of concept for commercial orbital habitats, facilities that support research, manufacturing, technology testing, and maybe even future tourism. Number 5, we have Blue Origin's first lunar lander test flight. 2026 might be the year private lunar landers stop being curiosities and start becoming the backbone of moon exploration. And Blue Origin's Blue Moon Pathfinder is right at the heart of that. Blue Moon's first test flight, the Mark I Pathfinder, is planned for early 2026. The goal is autonomous precision using LiDAR and star tracking navigation to land within about 100 meters of its target. That's a far cry from the unguided landings of the early lunar era, and a step toward reliable cargo delivery and infrastructure placement for future moon bases. Precision landing tech and modular payload handling could reshape how we do lunar exploration. Instead of shipping instruments one at a time, future landers might carry rovers, habitats, fuel, and even people. So in 2026, watch the Blue Moon Pathfinder, not just as another moon lander test, but as a signal. The moon isn't just a destination for governments anymore. Big, smart, autonomous landers are becoming regular players in lunar exploration, and Blue Moon might be the one that changes the game. At number 4 is the launch of NASA's Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope. Scheduled to launch as early as fall 2026, but no later than May 2027, the Nancy Grace Roman is a telescope that could discover hundreds of thousands of alien worlds. It's a next-generation observatory designed to study everything from exoplanets to dark energy, basically trying to answer some of the biggest questions in the universe. By studying the distribution of galaxies and how they cluster together, Roman will give scientists unprecedented data on how dark energy is affecting the universe's expansion. This could finally answer questions we've been struggling with for decades. When Roman starts sending back its data, it's not just pictures of galaxies. It's a chance to understand the fundamental forces shaping our cosmos, and maybe, finally, why the universe is the way it is. Moving on at number 3 is the Comet C/2025 R3. Comet C/2025, a newly discovered visitor from the outer solar system, is expected to sweep through the inner solar system in late April 2026 and could become bright enough to see without a telescope. Now, comets are unpredictable. Some fade, some flare dramatically, but early predictions suggest C/2025 R3 could reach around magnitude 3 or 4, making it visible to the naked eye under dark skies. For the best view, step away from city lights, bring binoculars if you have them, and look toward the western sky just after sunset in late April. Be ready to grab a camera. These rare comets make for incredible shots. Keep your eyes on the sky in late April. Number 2 is Martian moons exploration. Here's a mission that's basically unheard of. Japan is sending a spacecraft to Phobos, one of Mars's moons, and it's bringing back a piece of it. The mission is called MMX, short for Martian Moons Exploration, and it's scheduled to launch in 2026. The goal is to orbit Mars, get close to Phobos, and actually land and collect samples to return to Earth. Phobos and Deimos are tiny, weird moons that no one really understands. Are they captured asteroids, or chunks blasted off Mars by a giant impact? The spacecraft will land on Phobos, scoop up at least 10 grams of material, and even deploy a mini rover called IDA-FIX to scout the surface. On top of that, it'll take ultra-high-def photos and video of Mars and its moons. Visiting Mars is one thing, landing on its tiny moon and returning a sample, that's never been done before. So in 2026, keep an eye on MMX. This isn't just a mission, it's humanity grabbing a piece of another world and finally answering one of the oldest questions about Mars's moons. Finally, at number 1, it's NASA's Artemis II crewed lunar mission. After more than 50 years, humans are finally returning to the moon. 4 people will leave low Earth orbit and travel farther from home than any human alive today, tracing a path past the far side of the moon and looking back at Earth like few ever have. So in 2026, it's not just about testing a spacecraft. We're returning to the moon. We're daring, exploring, and proving that the next giant leap is ours to take. And it's not just a mission, it's a milestone for all of us. Imagine the feeling of being the first humans in over half a century to step into the deep void and look back at our tiny home. That's what Artemis 2 is giving the world, a reminder of how far we can go when we push together. Their flight shows the moon belongs to humanity, not just a few. It belongs to anyone daring to dream. Artemis 2 is our bridge back to the lunar surface, reigniting the spark that inspired the Apollo generation, and now inspiring a new one. And for anyone watching, it's a reminder. The moon is no longer a dream in the distance. It's coming back into our reach. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which of these events you're most excited to see. And if you want to see more amazing space videos, sharing the video would help the channel tremendously.